Well, today I'm down in Greenwood, South Carolina with a good friend, a good pigeon friend. There's a lot of, we all have a lot of good pigeons friends. But it's a special man right here. I got James Turner. He's a roller guy. You probably heard of him. He's known for putting color into pigeons. And today we're going to go back and look at some of his rollers, and we're going to see the colors that he's created, and all after the colors he created the bird back to the spin. And then we're going to do something else after we do that. You tell us about that, James.
Okay, Dan and Joe had asked me to try to give some simple, genetics. And I thought about that, and when I started, I bought a book. I read that book, and I realized that after I read it, I didn't know much more than I did when I started. And after I read it the second time, I came up with a game plan. And I started with the most simple basics, and I did not go any further until I totally understood it. And I took one small step at a time, but I understood what I had read before I moved to the next step. So today what I'm going to try to do is apply that to this session today. We're going to start off with simply the three colors. And if you understand that, then you can move to patterns and sex length and modifiers and on and on and on. So it worked for me, and hopefully it would for you.
Well, everybody's going to be looking forward to this. We all have questions about genetics, and I'll just tell you right quick, if I got a question about it, I call James and say, what do I need to do with this bird to get this bird? And most of the time he tells me. Sometimes I hear what he says, but it's like, I don't think he knows what he's talking about, but he does. That's the main thing. So we're going to get to it right now. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go look at his pigeons, spend some time back there, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some different segments on genetics. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm James Turner in Greenwood, South Carolina. Danny Joe Humphrey's down this afternoon, and he's going to do a little video on my birds and look at some of the colors and some of the unusual rollers. And we'll walk down here to my first kit box and look at some of them. All right, this is my kit box where I keep my best birds. These are my holdover birds. These are my flying birds. And these are actually the best birds I've got, and they vary in age from 1 year to, I think, 4 years is the oldest one. Now, these are really good rollers, and they perform well, but again, these are my best rollers. Now, you don't get all of them like that, but these are the best rollers. I'd like to just show you a few of the unusual colors. This is one of my favorites. It's a reduced bar spread. It's a sort of a gunmetal gray, got the white bars and spread. Now, this is a deep bird. She's really, really deep. I mean, she'll get 50, 70 feet, and she's fast, and I like her. She's 2 years old, so obviously she can handle a spin. Now I've got a yellow check bird, and I'd just like to point out these birds are pretty bad in the moult, and they're in the last few primaries. But this bird is another one. You could almost say the same thing about her as you could the reduced bird. She's really fast and deep, and again, she's a 2-year-old bird. And she's one that I definitely intend to stock this year.
Let me ask you something while you're holding that bird out. Do you see a big difference in the sex of the birds in your schools?
No, I don't. Now, I will say this: when I flew competition, I did fly the hens more so than the cocks. Now, the cocks I think can perform just as well, but the cock, I'd like to say they're not as dependable. These hens are just like they're steady, and you get 1 or 2 cock birds, particularly if you're flying a mixed kit, and they'll get to wanting to clap wings, and I just prefer a hen. But as far as the ability to perform, I see no difference. Okay, this is a bird that you don't actually see this for many of this color rollers. This is a pencil, a black pencil, and this is a little cock bird, and he's been flying for 2 years. And he's a real nice, good performer. Now, he's not as deep as those 2 hens. He's, 35 feet and 25, 35, but he's a good, steady bird, and he's fun to watch and nice to look at. This is one of my favorites. It's a recessive red, and again, this one is a good example of seeing where they are in the moult. When you get rollers in these last 2 to 3 primaries, it really hinders their performance. But
what are you talking about? When they got blood in them?
It's at the blood stage, and it seems like the further they get out close to the end, and you may or may not can see this, but this is in the blood stage, and their wings seem to be sore, and they just don't perform as well. But now this is the interesting thing about this bird. It's a mosaic. you see the black spot, and under here it's got black. And I have a number of these mosaics, and of course we'll look at some more of them later, but that's a nice bird.
Hi, this is Jerry Gagne, Foy's Pigeon Supplies, oldest pigeon supply company in the United States. When Danny Joe approached us about being a part of this great project, we were really excited. If you're looking for pigeon supplies, if you're looking for pigeons, I hope you'll give us a call. Foy's Pigeon Supplies, we're on the internet, just type in Foy's, or if you'd like to call us, it's 1-877-355-7727. Ask about our 204-page all-color catalog. We'd be glad to send it to you.
Color Pigeon Loss, featuring 28 breeds of fancy pigeons, high-performance Turner rollers. We have birds available at all times. Capuchins, Saxon monks, Saxon priests, Swiss crescents, ice pigeon, saints, frillbacks, archangels, starling, figuritas, old German owls, Chinese owls, satinets, swallows, Saxon shields, and much, much more. For breed availability, visit www.colorpigeons.com. For purchasing, pricing, and shipping info, call toll-free 1-800-527-0918.
Muir Nagel, better known as Dr. Pigeon by his friends, is known by his one-eye cold treatment. It's called One Drop, One Time. It only takes one drop, it only takes one time. Every breeder needs at least one bottle of One Drop, One Time to keep in their loft for those nasty eye colds. They're available at Foy's Pet Supply, New England Pigeon Supply, and Pro Flight Supply. And remember, the next time you buy pigeon supplies, be sure to include one bottle of One Drop, One Time.
This is a 2-year-old. It's a dominant opal cock. And I tell you, he's a real good steady bird. And this is one of my favorite things, looking at him when he spreads that tail. It's real nice, and I like this bird a lot. This is a Andalusian badge, and see again we're in this end of the feathers, and this bird she's really fast, and she's 35-40 feet deep. I got 2 of them just alike, and this one with this band is a little bit deeper than the other one, but they almost appear to be the same bird.
Is that a sex band?
Well, actually it is a hen, but and I put it on to sex them. But the other one I don't have a band on, but that's what it's on there for, the kind of pink band. But she's the deeper of the 2. This is a reduced spread bird. She's a bald head, and as you notice, a lot of them got this same thing and that thing. But she's really a nice bird. This bird I think she's actually 3 years old.
That's a beauty.
She's a nice. This little hen, she's a small hen. She's black, and she's actually 4 years old. But I'll call this bird lucky, because I was flying her last year, and a hawk caught her, and actually took her off. And she came back, and all she had was a little bloody wing, and it hung low a couple of days, and she went right back to performing. And when she's on her game, she is really something to look at. And in fact, I had some people down, earlier last spring, and I think they forgot about the other kit was watching her.
That happens.
Yeah, I had a 1-bird kit there for a while. This is just a tortoise shell, and she's one of these real deep spinners, and I like her. But these birds, like I say, they are the best birds I got, and again, I'd like to point out that these birds are from 1 to 4 years old, and every bird you raise are not the quality of these, and with the hawk situation and trying to have really good quality birds, you just don't raise a lot of them. So right now these birds are on lockdown. Now in this kit box, these are all this year's birds, and they are some performing fairly well, and they're all just beginning. I'm flying. Now this is I got a lot of hopes for this bird. I hope this shows up good. This is a recessive red Sprill stencil. She's really nicely marked. I would really wish that a couple of feathers wasn't in her tail, but they're there. And her mother was a really true good performer, and the cock bird was a decent bird. So been working on this stencil for many years, and it's a complicated gene, and when you try to take a complicated gene and make it spin, it really gets complicated. But I'm there. I've got some spinning, and hopefully with some of these in this kit box that we're going to have a lot more soon. Now I have a sibling to this bird up here. Let me catch it. Let me find it before I catch it. Well, here is another one. Now this one it doesn't have the real nice color, but you see the gold looking, that is stencil, but it's dilute. Now I'm trying to get them with the dilute as I go, and I've learned that anything you want to put in them, you better load it up to start with, because when you start back, you got years ahead of you. So I'm really trying to pack all the genes in them as I go. Okay, this is a sibling to the other two birds. Now it's really, and I like those wings on that bird. And again, these last three birds that we looked at, I really feel like that I have a very good chance of these birds being a nice quality spin. You know, you never know, but I'm getting real close.
How long have you been trying to, I know you've been putting the color in it for a while. How many years you figure you're messing with?
I got this gene in 1988. Now, to be honest, I would work on it a while, and it would be so difficult that I would take a year or two off. I would just actually not do anything, and I would work on other genes. And you know, it gets kind of discouraging to work a year and you don't see any progress. So had I worked non-stop, you know, I probably, in those years, I've given up 10 years. But you know, since '88, that's a long time. But they're coming around. Okay, this is just a Qualman self. Now these Qualmans, now they can spin. I've got some of the Qualmans. In fact, the mother to this bird, and she was a black pepperhead, and the cockbird is a Qualman white flight, and they were both excellent spinners. So, and their offspring they're good birds. So I'm expecting a lot out of this little bird. Now, I want to show you this pencil out here, and we'll move on to another box. But the other one did not have the nice lacing and some of the extra. But I'm working on more lacing in the wings, shields, and this is just a nicer looking bird. And this bird, I expect it to you know, there's no reason it won't perform. Okay, I got one more to show you in here. These are ribbon tails, and they are really pretty, and I've been working on them for a while. And this one has got nice color. The hardest part with your ribbon tails, really, to keep the color up, is from here to here. And this one is a really good one. And as he molts, he's better. But this is actually a T-check ash red with bronze. You know, it's 11 and bronze, and I've been through these a while. And the parents of this bird were good, nice, steady spinners, but they didn't. His color quality is really one of the best I've raised that I felt like would be a real good performer in there. And I have several of these that are performing nice, and I'm real close to just a little bit of refining, and they're there.
Watching Color Pigeons and More, the Pigeon TV show that covers all aspects of the pigeon hobby. Today's show has been brought to you by Foy's Pet Supplies, since 1887, America's oldest bird supply company. Dr. Pigeon Proven Pigeon Products, 18 to choose from. Color Pigeon Loft, featuring 27 show breeds and high performance rollers. Be sure to tune in for our next episode. Be looking for us right here on the web.